Hey, how are you doing? It's Marilyn here, and today I'm going to share some stories, my story of awakening. And the purpose of this is to help those of you who are awakening, just waking up or in the process of it, who are sensitives and starseeds. And the purpose of my story is hopefully that there are things you can relate to and go, hey, I'm going through that, and see that you can get through it. Um, I'm sure there'll be little bits of wisdom in here. I'm feeling very vulnerable about doing this, but it's not about me, it's about helping you. At least that's what I'm telling myself right now, right? And because I think a lot of us are feeling alone, and there's a lot of different things going on. So as I start to tell my story, I will get into different areas that I want to share with you, and I'm going to try and do it chronologically so I can stay focused that way. I might jump back and forth a little bit if I remember something that I think is key. I want you to remember as I'm telling this that there will be things that are similar, or there will be a certain thing to my story that you will be having. You had the same experience, but you have a different story. So each of us are individuals. Each of us came here for our own purpose. We came here to learn something. We came here to be of service for something. A lot of us have volunteered, and I'm one of the older volunteers. And so I wanted to share, some wisdom from being an older volunteer. Now, some of the star seeds that are coming in fully aware and having knowingness about different things that I've had to wake up to. Also, knowings and experiences that are more awake about being off planet, or ET experiences, or knowing the truth of things that are just becoming evident now to a lot of you. So let me just start, and so that way I won't go wandering off, and I can hopefully this will help you, and thank you for listening. And I'm just going to start. So I can remember standing in the crib, so probably that must have been about a year, or a little less, having psychic conversations with my father. So that's probably my earliest memory of being psychic, and we were having a conversation. Then when I was, I would say, let's see, I'm going to jump around here. I'm feeling into whether to share this, don't share it. So that, and then around, I'd say second, third grade, I remember every night I would go somewhere, and I called it the other side, and I would just go to sleep, and then I would be in this whole other world, and I don't remember what that world was like then, but I remember asking my mom what it was like on her other side. Did she go to the other side? And then that's when I got turned on to religion. So she started, she didn't have answers, so she started taking us to church, and we started exploring religion with other families. And I have to say, I am very much an observer. I'm always watching people. I was always reading people. I'm a sensitive and a starseed. I could feel things I could feel things from other people. I could feel, my mother dating somebody who I didn't like, and I would hide in the corner when they came in. Um, I, just had a strong intuition as to who to trust and what not to trust, and a knowingness. I had a knowingness at a young age, like I knew things and I didn't know why I knew them. And I'll give you another example that around second, in between, I would say second or third grade, probably third grade, I was also in my observations seeing power, seeing different, just noticing how people can have power over other people. I'm trying to think of it like how a third grader would think of it. And how people could get people to do things that even if the people didn't want to do things. I'm just thinking as I'm saying here how relevant that is to today. But so I was quite the observer, and so I remember in this calling to understand power and relationships, and this whole aspect at a very young age. And so I went to the library, and I don't know how I found these books in third grade, but I ended up with a book from Freud, so psychology, and a book on witchcraft. And I read them both. Now, again, this is before I probably turned my powers off from being overwhelmed and stuff. I had powers that, again, I didn't understand, but were natural to me and just didn't know. So I just probably read them, absorbed it, just by holding it. And that's, I would say, has been a journey on understanding relationships and power. What is power and my power? Because the other thing is that a lot of times I felt powerless. So where I am today and where I was growing up is so different. Like a lot of you, feeling very insecure, the black sheep of the family, didn't fit in, was sensitive to a lot of different things, didn't want to do overstimulating things, didn't want to feel everything that I was feeling because I was an empath, and that was overwhelming. I would have angels appear in front of me, manifest into a body. I didn't see it happen just all of a sudden. There would be a man standing in front of me, and he would tell me everything's going to be all right. And then walk past me, and by the time I turned around and if nobody else was there, he would like evaporate it. He wasn't there. That happened quite a few times to let me know that I was okay. I was raised in a single family home. My parents divorced when I was 4. I witnessed my father, my mother arguing, and then didn't see my father again until I was 13, and nobody told me anything. My grandmother told me I better take good care of my mom so she wouldn't leave either. Oh my gosh. People don't understand, as sensitives, that we take things literally until we know not to, right? Because I think, and especially starseeds too, just saying, when I'm going to be speaking, starseeds and sensitives to me are together. I know that there are sensitives who are not starseeds, and there are probably starseeds who are not sensitives. Yes, there are. And so, but I am a sensitive and a starseed, and it was, so I would rather talk psychically, that, words and stuff, that's like my first language, I think, is being psychic. And there was no reason to not trust people. There was no reason to have disbelief, or that somebody was going to say something they didn't mean, because when you're psychic and you're an ET, you're communicating, and there isn't game playing that's going on, or sarcasm, or any of that. So that really disrupted my life in a lot of different ways, different things that my grandmother said that she had no idea was affecting me, and that I was taking literally. And so then I also, a lot of us become nurturers and caretakers. And we want to, because we are empathic, and we, at a young age, and, I became my mother's caretaker in a way. I became her husband in some ways, wanting to make life okay for her, as much as a 4-year-old on could. And so she wouldn't be overwhelmed, which she was a sensitive herself, and she would get overwhelmed, and a lot of times come home and shut herself in her bedroom so she could gather herself together. She had 3 kids to take care of. So anyway, I took on a lot of responsibility at a young age, so I became lost a lot of my childhood and playfulness, so everything became very serious. And so all of my attention was focused outward, to taking care of what was going on out here in order for me to feel better, right? If my mom felt better, then I felt safe and I would feel better. If she was happy, then I wouldn't be feeling her anxiety. If my brothers and sisters were, all right, then I wouldn't be feeling anxious about how my mom was being affected, or what things had to be done. And then that ended up going, further out to, again, my brother and sister, if I was responsible for them, or, and then out to friends, and then later family. And, it just kind of grew until it became that was part of my identity, was being the caretaker, I want to say not the caretaker, the nurturer, the problem solver. I'm really good at solving problems. I'm very psychic at finding it, right? What's going on? What's wrong? I can zoom in, right? Part of my abilities, and knowing what they needed before they needed it. And so I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. A lot of us have been in this situation. And what we tend to do then is we tend to put ourselves on the back burner. And then sometime in our life, different things happen to us that make us more aware, whether we get sick, whether we lose somebody, whether we break up, later on in life, divorce, different relationships, whether we're in an accident, different things that happen that have us become aware that, number one, where we are in our life, and whether we feel happy with it, whether we feel that we like where we're at now, or then it starts changing, that you want something different. It starts to be like, I don't know, I feel like I need something different. And so these things the things that happen to us that are for us. So that's one of the things that you're going to learn as you're awakening, is that the universe is giving you opportunities to learn and grow for yourself, and that you came in and asked for experiences. But it's also so you're going to grow, but it's also going to help you open your heart. It's helping you to remember who you really are. A lot of us feel like we have a big mission. We came in knowing, like, I'm going to do something big, but I feel shy. I feel disempowered. I don't feel like I'm enough. I don't feel like I'm worthy. We become perfectionists. And we, we might think that we have to work really hard and suffer in order to have anything. We might not know our worth and are able to ask for what we want and receive it. There's all these different layers, and as we start to wake up, and so that means, again, something makes you aware that this is not where you want to be, this is not your life. Something like you get triggered in a way that it shocks you, or something is shown to you either psychically, or you see it in people, or you might see it in a movie or on TV, and it just because of our wiring as starseeds and stuff, like it just like or the stars might aligned in a perfect manner, and the sun rays and the things happen that all of a sudden we're activated, and we start remembering certain things, or we start questioning certain, like, wait a minute, what's going on? And and so when a lot of times when you're first waking up, like some things are exciting, some things are like, oh wow, like you get to see, like, oh, I can manifest and I can create different things, and I am more empowered, and I am worthy, and I am lovable, different things like that. And then there are the other aspects. Well, where are the parts of you that are limiting you, that are thinking you're not enough? What's going on in the world that isn't the truth? How have you been here's going back to my power, the psychology and the energy work of, the energy is how have you been convinced that life is a certain way, and it's really not that way? You start to see those things, right? And sometimes you don't want to see those things. And this is the hard part. And I think for a lot of people right now, and I'm not going to go into specifics, but I'm going to give an example. This is what I can. So imagine that you're married, or you've been with a partner for a long time, and they're cheating on you. And in your gut, in your heart, they're cheating on you. But you don't want to know that they're cheating on you, right? They're like, you're doing everything to have that not be the reality. And then you're going to do everything in your power to convince them that you are worth staying with, right? So it's like you start selling yourself short, you start sacrificing yourself, you start creating different illusions. You're not really going for answers. You're deceiving yourself. You're not wanting, you're like, nah, 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 or sticking your head in the sand. But the thing is, it's going to come up and bite you. You're going to have to deal with it someday. You're going to have to deal with it someday. And for us, I'm going to say from here's a wisdom part again too, is it's easier when you learn and have information, or at least gathering information. And here's the thing, it's not believing what other people say, it's you gathering information, and then you being discerning for you deciding what's right for you, not letting anybody else decide what's right for you, not letting anybody else determine what's good for you, because nobody else knows. Every individual is a sovereign individual, here to experience something different from everybody else. But together we're creating this incredible world that's actually falling apart right now, so we can create a better one that would serve the greater good of all, not just a few. So I just want you to see, like, sometimes you don't want to see things, and when things are put in front of you, and I get that, like, there's stuff, I I didn't know the stuff I know now. I didn't reach, I had to, it's been little by little by little, researching, exploring, talking to people, more research. What's my heart feel? What do I know? What's my higher self feel? Gathering information over time from a lot of different resources and perspectives. That's what I do. This is what I'm really good at. And then, bringing that down and figuring out how to share that with other people if I need to share that with other people. So to continue on with my story, so I have little things growing up that would, that were waking me up, things that would happen, um, information that was coming in, psychic abilities, and then this, because of the empathic stuff, I started not trusting it as much because it also scared me. It almost felt like I didn't meditate for a long time because I thought if I meditated, I would go somewhere and not want to come back. And I didn't really understand that until I learned about really being a starseed, and that a lot of us starseeds, and I'm a parallel starseed, so I have not been on this planet a lot. In fact, this is my 8th time, I've been told, and I'm here to help the other parallels and starseeds who have not been here a lot, how to be in your body, how to live in this planet in your body, because a lot of us, and you've heard me talk about this if you've watched me for a while in other videos, that when we get overwhelmed, overstimulated, we leave our body. We kind of space out. We don't want to feel, so we come up and we think, or we go into meditations or whatever that are keeping us out in the outer bodies, not in our inner body, so we can deal with stuff that's coming in. And the big thing is that you're here on this planet right now to be fully in your body, manifesting in your body, and being multidimensional in your body. Multidimensional meaning that you're having the human experiences along with all the other senses and abilities that you have as a starseed, being psychic, manifestation, astral travel, different, all these other things. And that's not the discussion right now, but that's part of what you're here to learn. And so in the process of breaking down, so we're breaking through, you're coming out, you're feeling like, you just go through these times like, oh gosh, a lot of us grow up and we're like, I don't want to be so different from I don't want to stand out. I want to blend in. I don't want to feel like the black sheep. And so a lot of us feel that in the younger days. And then when you wake up, you're like, thank God I'm a black sheep. But it isn't until you're breaking through a lot of different things. So then I would say in my mid 40s or early 40s, I had a bigger breakdown. So I had children then, I had a husband, I had a community. And again, all of this is happening for our own awakening, for us to see what we're not seeing. Because a lot of times we'll get little clues and stuff like do this, do that. We'll have intuitions, but we don't listen to them. And I'm out there taking care of other people, and a lot of times those of us who are out there taking care of other people, meeting their needs, doing everything and putting ourselves on the bottom of the list, we're the ones that will end up getting sick. And something will happen to us physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or a combination thereof, in order to make us stop and have to pay attention to ourselves and to grow. And that's kind of like, luckily it was not a Mack truck that hit me. It was a shift in different things that were hormonal, but had me feeling anxiety for the first time, which I never had felt, and different things were going on in my body. And I right now I'm just thinking too, I probably was having ascension symptoms or awakening symptoms at the time, and did not, those terms weren't there then as they are now. There's totally different terms. So they used to call things midlife crisis, right, for people. But anyway, it shook me up. And I was like, but I thought if I was a good girl and I was doing A, B, C, and being healthy and and taking care of everybody and doing it all this way, that I would be all right, right? Things would work out, things would be. And so what happened is this whole thing made me question everything, question all my beliefs. Now, I have no idea how it came in, and just that process that I went through, but it made me question everything. And it was almost like I had to look at everything that was available to me at that time and I've kept doing it ever since, but looking at all my beliefs. And I didn't have a strong foundation, right? Because I hadn't been inside of me. I had been out here. I had a very weak foundation. I had everybody else was, again, more important than me. And my heart was cracking open to let me see me and me know my value, and also to be living my purpose, and to learn how to live in the body, how to be in the body. I was fairly athletic, and so that way kept me in the body. And I did yoga almost every single day for like 40 something years, and played tennis and volleyball and all sorts of things, plus having 2 kids, and wonderful friends. And I want to say one of the things too is this whole thing too was like me taking care of everybody else, and my value was on taking care of other people, on helping them meet their needs and stuff. My whole, and that crumbled because all of a sudden it was like I needed help, and I was like, who's going to help me now? I'm going to say this again so that because it's like unbelievable when I think about it, but I was part of a community for years. I had 2 children, a husband. I had an big extended family. I had some really close friends, at least 8 other close friends, besides a lot of acquaintances. And some of those were really close friends too. And I felt that if I was sick, nobody would take care of me. Who would take care of me? I felt like I was going to be abandoned, that I didn't have anything to be worthy of. It's so sad. And I had to learn that wasn't true. And so some of you may be going through something like that, where your life got shook up, and it also shook up all my senses. So my psychic abilities came back like, woo. It was like I was alive, and I could hear and I could see, and different things were happening. And so I just kept following. Where I was leading myself, or my higher self was leading me. I just kept coming inside, what's there, and would pay attention to that. And I started asking for help, asking others, like particularly when I was like really I'd lay down in bed and I could hear people talking on their phones. That's like how open I was. I was like, so I reached out to some people that knew how, and then started my study, of, I found Buddhism and Zen, and that really talked to me. And I had been studying health for many years. Health has always been part of my life, and I was always a pioneer in that, or following pioneer modes in that. And again, you know, people wouldn't pay attention. And so why am I part of what I want to say to you on this is that in a lot of ways, you awakening right now ahead of the other people, you are a pioneer. You are a pioneer, and it can feel, and those of you who have been awakened or awakening for a few years now, or even 10 years, you are, again, a pioneer, and that can feel very lonely and isolating, because I think there's probably 20 to 30% of the population can relate to us. And a lot of us aren't talking about this because we're living lives with other people, and we don't, unless you're reaching out and you're in other groups, which hopefully you will start to do. There's lots of resources. And I'll share one with you afterwards here. But there's more and more of us, and a lot of the kids that are coming in now are all I can't say all, but a lot of them are coming in awake already, knowing, like, just amazing, smart, unbelievable, creative beings. And so I worked my way, and I had to find people in my surrounding community that aligned with some of the things, or were questioning, or were waking up to, although it wasn't called that then, and and do my own research. And here's the thing too, okay, sorry if there's rambling on here, but the biggest thing I can tell you is that go out and do research. There are people to guide you, like myself and others, who have already been through this, who have wisdom, who have resources, and have tools to help you go through this awakening. There wasn't anybody to help me and those others of us who were early volunteers here who came in. And so we've created them, and we've been learning, and then others bring in new information, and we learn from those. It's not just the learning and the knowledge, it's really the applying of the information, and using the tools, living the tools, being the being, it isn't just knowing, oh, I am lovable and I am worthy. It is embodying, I am worthy. I am love. I am a lot of different things. And owning that, and being in the present, and walking that, and talking that is very different from just having the knowledge and reading a book and, oh, okay, yeah, and then being able to talk about it. You have to walk it. And there's a lot of people who can talk it, but not walk it. So don't waste your time talking it, walk it. That's the fastest way you're going to get through this. Doing deep inner work. So remember I said I started questioning all my beliefs. And I started going through and saying, whose belief is that? Where did I get that belief from? Does that serve me? Is that for my highest good? Does that limit me? Why am I believing these things because I'm a woman? Why am I believing, so there's ancestral beliefs, right? There's cultural beliefs, there's religious beliefs, there's all sorts of different beliefs that are out there that are that we've latched onto through either our family and repetition, or through the TV, or through what we listen to, or games that we play. There's different things that you're, again, talking about that power and influence. They're it's brainwashing. Little by little, it's teaching you things. So you need to be aware of what you're watching, who you're talking to, what you're listening to, what you're playing, how you just talk with your friends. Are you talking in a way that expands all your worlds? Are you talking in a way that limits it? So I remember, right? So I did a lot of work on that. That's when I studied and became a coach, and I studied with various people um, in different with different tools and different knowledge. I think it's important to have a well-rounded. And then I ended up divorcing my husband because there was just no more growth there. No more growth could be happening, and scared to death, right? Again, doing things that are really scary. But this was a growth. This was a growth about seeing who I am. And I could not be the coach I am today. I could not be the human being and be in the presence and talking to you the way I am today if I stayed in that relationship. It's not in alignment with who I'm here, why I came here, and for me to be able to serve how I made it, I made a commitment to come here and serve in a way and learn things. And if I'm not doing it, then I'm going to get smacked into remembering that that's what I'm here to do. And as hard as that was, it was a fabulous lesson. But I'm just going to say, a lot of times, and again, this goes with when we start to do our work and do our awakening, most the people around you are not going to be awake, or have not been awake, for those of you who have been doing this. And again, that can feel isolating, it can feel lonely. And I want you to know there are others out there. You have to reach out. You have to find ways. You can start to use your intuition to tell who are people in your towns. There's other people. I know there's a lot of millennials that are awakening, that are sensitives, that are starseeds, but they're afraid to say anything to each other. And it's also using our own, again, remember, we are sovereign. This is a really important thing for you to learn, and it's something you will grow into. You're not necessarily going to feel that unless you're one of the kids that are awake and they know they are sovereign and they don't give a shit about what anybody else is thinking. It's like, this is what they have this knowing. They're not here to be like other people, and neither are you. And so it's also discerning. So this is the hard part, is you having to not be like other people, and to take the information and go within and, cipher through it. What's true? What isn't? Using tools, using your intuition, you asking for guidance, using resources. And applying all that information to make choices that fit you. And there's a lot of fear out there. There's a lot of people pushing fear. I know somebody calls it fear porn. That's like the news, fear porn. But also, we've been programmed a lot to think in medicine, fear getting sick. And yet, what do we focus on? We're afraid of getting sick, and then we create that for ourselves because we're not thinking independently, and we're not thinking, what would be good for me? What would nurture me? What would make this body radiate and nourish it, right? Instead, you can't be following what other people are saying. You're an individual. Our bodies are each very different. And I remember moving here and or getting ready to come here and calling other coaches and stuff and saying, oh, I'm coming out and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, don't come here if you want any men. and there aren't any, and you're not going to do this. And I remember I flew out 2 weeks before the movers were come to move. I didn't have a place to move to, and people were saying, we know people that have been looking for, a year or two for places to live. And came on one of the busiest days. It was a festival day, festival weekend, to find a place. And my intuition said I was going to find a place, and it would be through a friend of a friend. Now, at that time, I had like 2 friends that were living here from college days. And I also knew where I wanted to live. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be there. And I was like, I am not going backwards. So otherwise, I had a beautiful house with a pool and gardens, and not going back. I'm not going to live in a college apartment, because I live in a college town. I want nice things. I want some nice things. And so, so I kept having to do my own work to not let these people influence and bring that fear into me. I had to be like, no. I'm manifesting this. They're not manifest. They're not in this. They're not me. I'm manifesting this. If there's a man for me to meet here, there'll be a man for me to meet here. If there's a place for me to find, I know I'm going to find it. This is how I'm going to find it. Again, and I feel supported. I had to, like, this is walking your talk. I am part of a bigger picture, and a bigger energy, and that bigger energy has my back, and I have my back. And anyway, I found a place in less than 24 hours through a friend of a friend, while I was on my 3rd apartment looking at it going, nope. And somebody called and said, I'm so-and-so's friend. I have an apartment here. The owner happens to be here. Come on over. Went. It was perfect. It was $200 more than I wanted to spend. I told him this was what I could spend. He said, okay, I want you here. I will lower the rent for you. And got that. And then probably 3 months later, after living here too, I met the man that I've been with for over 17 years. So again, I want you to know that you are the guiding light. You are the guiding heart, an energy that is creating your life, and it is your responsibility to be managing this. And it's difficult in the beginning. It's difficult now too. I'm going to say that I feel sorry. No, I don't. What do I want to say? I am happy that I'm not just waking up right now. I have compassion for those of you who are just waking up right now, because there's a hell of a lot going on. But maybe it might be faster and easier than the little drips and stuff that I got in the very beginning. And you have tons of support. That's what I want to say. You have support. We are here for you. Reach out to me. If I'm not the right one, I'll help you find somebody or direct you. There's lots of resources and people who are doing good things. There's Starseeds and Sensitives. There's so many more of us than when I was having a lot of my awakenings. I have to say, to share what's going on now, I would say the last 2 years I've had more of the awakening. You're always awakening, is like diving more into government, world stuff, underworld stuff, space stuff, a lot of things that I had some idea, but really no freaking idea. Because it was kind of like the, your boyfriend cheating on you or your girlfriend and you not really wanting to know. I was too sensitive. That's it. That's what I wanted to say. I felt like I had to build me up energetically to be able to to feel my power, to be in my power, to be in my presence, to know that, to know who I am now, and that actually that I have a lot more power than if you had talked to me about what was going on say 4 years ago, I would have been la, 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 because I would have not felt as empowered as I do today to be able to handle that. I would have felt there was a part of me that wasn't fully present and in my body that could take that and comprehend it. And I'm still comprehending stuff. I mean, it's just so it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing, and so my love to you guys that are just waking up, and hugs to you. I am. I go in and out energetically. I can't. I don't play in business the same way that I used to play because that isn't the reality. Very much doing things energetically, and I think pay attention. So there are times that I've had to. I'm like, oh, I should be putting out a newsletter. I should be making a video right now. I should, and it was just like, no, I'm not doing anything until my energy is right and the energy that I put out, and I'm inspired to do it and feel called to do it, and it is supportive in a way. So I'm not doing anything that's like a should anymore or the old way. I'm really using my intuition and my inner knowing and inner guidance to guide me. And I feel really called to support, that's my work. My big mission is to support the starseeds and sensitives who are awakening, who have been awakening, and that need somebody to talk to. So I want to let you know that I have a community, and it's not on Facebook because I don't trust Facebook. It's on Kajabi. And I want to start doing some Zoom calls. And it's free to join, just join it. And then we'll do Zoom calls and we'll talk about what you're going through. And maybe I'll coach a few people on different things. And then because everybody will be able to relate on those things. And but also to feel connected and learn some tools. And the other thing is I would highly recommend, which I'm going to do, but you can do it on your own. You can do it, with other people. Again, I'm just saying one of your biggest jobs is to go through and really remove the limiting beliefs that you have about yourself. And so that's something I'm really good at zooming in on doing. And I'm going to be having a 12-week, 9 or 12 weeks. I'm checking at it if it is good to lessen it. But I go through the chakras and all the vows and beliefs that are related to the chakras and that they come in. And so we're removing those, energetically removing those, creating awareness about it, how it shows up in your world. So we're removing shame and guilt and unlovability and seeing all the ways that you've been limiting yourself, and then breaking through that. So you are raising your energy, embodying the truth of who you really are, knowing you are enough, you are worthy, that you're creative, that you're, this radiant being, feminine, masculine balance, here to learn the things you're here to learn, and learn about your purpose in life. So I'm going to be starting that up in March. So that's how I want to support you, and I think that's enough. I mean, there's so much I can go into, but I just wanted to give some of the brief highlights of different things, and just knowing that, a lot of times you're going through not understanding why you're doing things. I remember in college, I was interested in medical astrology, and, I've always been interested in the health. And so always had a feeling like I need to be in control of my health, not feeling that and the health changed over the years. That's one thing I got to see, because things were very different when I was younger. And as I got older, and then when I had kids, things started changing. So this world has changed. It was a good, it did feel better, but it is a crazy world now. And the thing is that in your awakening, and you find your power, your life force, that's your energy, your life force, your power to be you, your presence to be in your life force, in your body, in this present moment, being connected to everything, being source, being the father, being the mother, being the child, and embodying things. You can go on, and those will help to radiate, that help to uplift, to change your energy just by experiencing that. So you'll be learning about how energy is influencing, that words have energy, thoughts have energy, emotions have energy. And so for you to be managing those, learning how to manage that, is very empowering, so that it's moving you and the people around you, or the work that you're doing, in the direction that benefits all. So I'm probably forgetting something, but I think that's enough. And I appreciate if you've lasted with me all this way. Bless you. Bless you. It is hard talking about yourself, or for me, it's hard talking about myself. And it's not really like I'm not to be somebody that's out in the spotlight. I'm really I'm that person behind those people who are, out in the spotlight. I am that is my calling, and so my hardest work has been to learn to put words to what I know, because a lot of times I have no idea. I just know things, and I don't know whether it's science. I don't know whether it's psychology. I don't know there's just this knowing, this beingness, this, and then how do I explain that to somebody? And so a lot of stuff I questioned myself and doubted, and then all of a sudden I'd read it in a book somewhere, and I was like, oh, that's how you say it. That's the word you would put to it. Because I know I'm supposed to write some books, but right now I just feel like I'm supposed to be here for you. And I know there's one thing I do want to share, that this has been really tough. There has been times through this that I have said, I didn't come here for this. No, this is like, no. And then I was reminded, yes, you did. So, I mean, I am not a depressive person naturally. I'm very uplifted. I'm very light. I'm just lovey, and excited about life. And this really sometimes was, and still sometimes, and especially because a lot of the people that are closest to me and that I love, yes, this is the part I forgot, are not aligned with how I'm thinking. And so I'm the black sheep. I'm the terrorist. I'm the, whatever they want to call me, because I'm different, and I'm standing up for myself, and I'm honoring my choices, and I'm being sovereign. And people don't understand that. I grew out. So part of the awakening is not being the self-sacrificing nurturer. It's not being the people pleaser. It's not being ego. I know I'm here for a mission. I know I'm here to serve. And sometimes it's hard as hell that I can't talk to the people I care about the most about this incredible time in the world. And And like you, if you're having trouble like that, I've found new friends who we meet every Friday morning, and have coffee or tea or something, and we've come together that way. I have friends that don't live here that I call. We call each other, help. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Oh my God, did you feel those energies now? You know, oh my, am I crazy? Are we crazy? You know, so we're not doing this off the whim. So we are supporting each other. And we do ask each other, are we crazy? Is this, and it's like, and ask ourselves. I meditate a lot. I do a lot of energy work for humanity, for the planet, for the world. And all the work that I do for me is helping all those people who don't believe anything that I'm believing right now. Or they don't even know what I'm believing because they won't even have a conversation about it. Because it's really hard. We know it's hard, it's painful to be different. It's painful to not fit in sometimes. And it's painful to be made fun of. And if you had those experiences when you were young, you might not want to have those experiences when you're older. You might feel like you need your parents, your family around you. And here's the thing, no matter what you do, and if you have compromised what you really wanted to do in order to be close to a family member or to not fit, that's all right. I want you to get, no matter where you are in this and whatever decisions you made, it's all right. It's still just part of the path. We all do crazy stuff, dumb stuff, illegal stuff. You know, we've all done, have not used our judgments well, have done things to fit in, to make other people happy, to stop the, you know, if people have been bombarding you or you've been abused. I got abused. I've been abused, verbally abused, by our government, by people I know. So there's, and yet I feel like I am, and I know other people feel like this is the most extraordinary time of our life. And also it is a burden kind of knowing certain things that other people don't know, because again, kind of that, I don't want to know what's going on. I just did what a good girl, a good boy, or a good citizen would do. And, you know, and go from there. And it's a burden for those of us who have some insight to feel, and it's a burden that we can let go of. I just want to say that. I don't have to hold on to it. But sometimes it does. It feels like, oh my gosh, you know, you want to save, you want to save those people you love and humanity or whatever from experiencing pain, right? Isn't that what we've done our whole life, is helping others not experience pain so we wouldn't experience it? And now here we go again, right? And now it's like, whoosh, here's our big stand, big way to master. We're having to walk this. We're having to walk this, not fitting in, being able to be with the pain. But the big thing coming back is you are not alone. There is support. You need to ask for it. And there's support physically around you. There's a support above you, around you, energetically. Ask your higher self. And there is support online. So there are ways to find out and get what you need. And that's the thing that's saved all of us, I have to say. And I was honestly say too, a lot of times we're going, okay, are we crazy? Are we making up a totally different world? You know, do we have our heads stuck in the sand? So I want you to say, we are reevaluating. We are not married to what we come up with. or what we create. And I know this of a lot of starseeds and sensitives. And so, and we've all come from different backgrounds and different, um, uh, different services that we provide in the world, different job skills, different tools, different planets. And I just want you to know that you're loved beyond what you can imagine. And when you get through this, and that there are ways to get through this without feeling beat up, without feeling torn down, and just feel your heart opening, you are gonna, you will not recognize yourself in such a beautiful way. You are, it's amazing. It's just amazing. And the work that you will be creating in the world, the creator in you, the life force energy, the energy that you will be present with, will be so healing in many ways I can't even explain. So again, I hope this was helpful. And I will put my, I call it higher dimensional living community information below, and join that, and let's start talking. Let's get together. Let's feel, I want you to feel supported. I think I'm gonna do them like on Sundays, like around 10 or 11, or I might switch it so we can get some Europe, get all over, and then maybe some other times make it so Australia is awake at the time, and just play around. I don't want to set a firm schedule. I'm just not scheduling anything. It doesn't work that way anymore. But I'm just going to keep putting videos out and being here for you. And if there's specific things you want me to talk on and you don't want to join the community and you would like me to make a video on that, or you need help, reach out. Again, reach out. And I do one-on-one ascension work, tools. So if you want something personal, and it can be a one-time deal, or it can be you know, ongoing thing, that would be fabulous. So till we meet again, love, live, and matter. Take care, everyone.